What's up, fight fans and boxing family out there? Thank you for tuning in to another edition here at Round One Sports Talk. I am your host, Edwin. So, there's a lot to talk about today. I'm going to touch up on a story that I was covering in my last live stream about Oscar de la Hoya and his remarks that he made about Subriel Matias, the Puerto Rican boxer, and his claims that Subriel Matias is actually a Dominican pretending to be a Puerto Rican and that he shouldn't fake where he is from. So he's essentially, coming at Subriel Matia for his race, and that he's attacking the fact that is he or is he not 100% Puerto Rican. Now, no sooner that I got off the live, I made a phone call. I was talking to an older bro, and me and my brother were sitting back and we were talking. He reminded me about a lot of things about Oscar de la Hoya, and I was like, man, I didn't remember some of these things, right? And he reminded me that early on in his career, when Oscar de la Hoya was making his rise, a lot of Mexican legends like Julio Cesar Chavez and a lot of those guys didn't take him in as a Mexican boxer because he wasn't born in Mexico. I believe he was born in Texas, and he grew up in California or something like that, or California, vice versa, right? So he was never a born Mexican fighter. And for him to come out and try to take shots at Subriel Matias and question where he was born, it made me, start to wonder why. Then you guys all remember this, right? My brother also sends me shout out to my older brother Jose. Uh, he remind me about this right here. You guys remember the beautiful here she comes, Miss America. You guys remember these photos, right? Oscar De La Hoya in the negligee with the panties on, with the boxing gloves, and then he even doubled down. He has another photo with the high heels on and the wig. Y'all remember that, right? Yeah. If you don't, let me get you the video, the photo where my man is really going in. He doubles down on all that because you know how they do, right? Y'all remember this one, right? He's got the wig with the hat on in this one. Look at him. According to him, it was the same night. But in this photo, he's actually older. In this photo, he's younger. In this one, he's older. According to him, it was the same night. Anyway, you know what I mean? So he has a lot of skeletons in his closet, right? So for him to come out and do this, I was starting to, question why. So me and my brother, we started sitting back and we started like, thinking about a lot of things. And I'm like, my brother just off the top, he goes, yeah, and the kid Ryan Garcia, man, he flips off the Mexican crowd because he's not a Mexican born champion or fighter. And I went, bingo, bingo. The Mexican fans are probably in an uproar with or not embracing Ryan Garcia, just like he doesn't carry the Mexican flag into the ring with him, just like Oscar De La Hoya didn't carry the Mexican flag in the ring with him at times. Right? I don't know if he ever did it once or twice, but he didn't come out with the Mexican flag at all. I don't even remember Oscar De La Hoya coming out with it because he wasn't embraced by the Mexicans. You see? So, and then when he has his best star, and his people, he wants his fans to embrace Ryan Garcia. So, how do you do that? You stir up a story about someone else. It has absolutely nothing to do with you, but it might take the eyes off of your guy. You see? And the correlation that he's also training inside of Mexico led me to believe and to also think. I was like, okay, so basically what Oscar De La Hoya do is doing right now is trolling, right? And what you do is, you take the pin out of the grenade and you throw it in the room, and and you run and you walk right out of the room and you let it blow up, right? Because it's gonna have all of us talking about it and going back and forth when he's off doing some other shit, right? He's just trying to get the spotlight off of Ryan Garcia and the fans to forget about what he did, chucking the bird, telling them to, blow him and everything like that to the Mexican fans. He wants all that to like die out and to go away. But what do you got to do? You got to stir up another story. And by coming at Subriel like this and judging who he is, when in fact Oscar De La Hoya was never accepted by his people as a full-blooded born Mexican fighter. And that's why the other legends over there, they don't they don't see him as such. You see? So for him, to play that card, I found it very ironic, and I think that what he was going to try to do was to get the Dominicans and the Puerto Ricans to start going against each other, seeing that the fact that Subriel Matias was just talking to Michelle Rivera La Salsa and his father all over social media, Michelle Rivera being a Dominican fighter. So, and all the Dominicans that took shots at Subriel Matias and started saying no, that he in fact was scared or whatever, and that Dominicans were like, poking out their chest towards Subriel. Now, wouldn't it be ironic, right? If his dad was Dominican and he had a little, Dominican in him, right? Would the Dominican people try to claim him now? Would they try to say, wait a minute, he's half Dominican, so we could actually claim Subriel Matias and all his success comes to us, right? Is that what they're hoping, that's how the feud comes out and the Puerto Ricans be like, oh, hell no, you ain't claiming him. He's not your son, he's ours. We don't care who his dad is. And then they're like, yeah, but it's there. You know what I mean? On that type shit, right? So Oscar wants to throw all of this to try to create all of that, to get his eyes off of his guy. And I was like, okay, okay. Because it didn't make sense what he was saying, how he was saying it, when none of his fighters were fighting him. So I was like, where's the angle? And my brother was, we were just sitting there talking, and I was like, okay, okay, that makes sense now. You're gonna, if Ryan Garcia is going to be successful, he's gonna need the his support of his people too. Because he's not gonna have too many superstars like Devin Haney anymore to help him carry the night, like Tank Davis. See, men and fighters like that is what is boosting his revenue. If he doesn't have the proper dancing partner, I'm not sure if Ryan Garcia could carry the night on ticket sales. So Oscar De La Hoya needs the attention and the argument that's going on social media, and he's trying to tell the kid, listen, let that go. I'm about to stir up some other shit, and they're gonna get off of you, and soon people will forget. And when you get back in the ring, we'll get the fans back on your side, you know. But this right here was, it was distasteful, you know, and uh, you know, I I can't be mad at Oscar De La Hoya for his profession. This is what he does for a living. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see, if he's a different man when he's not working, you know and like I would just like to know that Has the lifestyle consumed him? Is he always this guy 24 hours a day? In work, out of work? Is he the same guy? Or is he really wearing a promotional cap? And all of these things are done, you know, for a reason. I would like at least to believe that, because if it's the other way, then he's a complete fucking asshole. You see? So by trying to keep a little bit respect for one of boxing's legends, no matter if he was Mexican or whatever, I don't give two shits about that. Okay. I judge Oscar de la Hoya to this day by what he accomplished in the ring. And that much I still will, respect them for. I love the sport of boxing, and these guys, outside of what they used to do or what they become later, you know, for me, I try to keep it separate. I don't try to make it personal. I don't allow the actions of what they did after, or you know what I'm saying, anything like that, to affect the legend that they were. Because these are the kind of men that kept boxing alive and that kept us coming out and in tune. There were many situations I was cheering for Oscar in my living room. So, for as that part, I'll keep it boxing. But there's a part of me that doesn't want to take everything so personal, but I will report on it. Okay. And, I'm just like, okay, man, this dude is wearing his promotional cap. He's doing slime ball shit. But I see this is every day for these dudes. This is what they do. So I'm like, okay, all right. But I believe that at some point, uh Oscar needs to address this and back up, and let this shit go. And Subriel Matias needs to stay focused on Liam Paro. Today was a real interesting day for me, in fact, right? I go out this morning, I go to eat breakfast, and I run into this guy. I'm going to the jewelry shop, I'm coming out, and I run into a guy, and we start talking boxing, and I forget sometimes because I'm becoming more fluent with boxing, and I'm covering it now, and every day I learn more and more, and I get better at it. So when I come and I talk, I'm like caught up, right? And like I'm like in it. Like I'm a hardcore fan, right? So I guess there's a part of me that forgets there's casual boxing fans and what they sound like sometimes, right? I mean, I've talked to some casual boxing fans, but I never talked to anybody like this. Like, well, from what I can remember. So anyway, I'm sitting there, I'm talking to the guy, right? And he tells me I should have known that he was like a red flag should have been that he didn't know Ryan Garcia's name. He said the Mexican kid. I said, who? He said, yeah, he beat the Haney guy. And I said, Ryan Garcia? And he goes, yeah, that one. And I was like, okay, first of all, you don't know Ryan Garcia's name, right? So, and then he started to tell me that Ryan Garcia is the best fighter in the world. And I looked at him and I went, well, no, I mean, he's not the best fighter in the world. I mean, he just was the bigger man with the bigger punch. He has great speed, and he's a good talent, but I think he needs work, but he definitely does have potential. Ryan Garcia definitely does have potential. But he's not the best fighter in the world. I said Terrence Crawford is. He goes, "No, no, 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 no. Ryan Garcia knocked Terrence Crawford out." And I went, I, I said, I thought I would never meet someone on the planet Earth that really would believe something like that. Like, I thought that shit was like ad talk, right? Like people trolling or something. Yo, I could see it in his face. He was dead serious. Bro, I didn't even try to explain it to him. I was like, yeah, yeah, all right, cool. All right, if that's what you think, okay. And I walked away, right? But I really didn't think I would run into somebody like that, like that really believes that. And it goes to show you that with all this social media and these storylines that people are putting out and what you see, you saw the ass whooping that he put on him. It could really mislead you when you're not following someone's career and you're seeing all the things that transpired leading up to this event. It would paint you a better picture. You would be, at least a real fan to your fighter. You don't have to know everything in boxing to be a boxing fan. Just a little bit about the guy that you're supporting at least. Watch a couple actually of his fights, not just his highlights. At least know his name, and things like that. But there's people out there like this, and you know, they got their mindset. I couldn't believe how serious he was about that too. He was like, "Man, Ryan Garcia will knock um Terrence Crawford the hell out." He goes, "Until I see that Terrence Crawford can beat him, Ryan's the best fighter in the world." I was like, "Wow, wow!" And you know where that all comes from, right? That all comes from how they dressed up Devin Haney. You see the four belts, it's undoubtedly, you see him with the gold chains, everything, the success, the allure and the image that he also puts on. You see him walking around with all these bodyguards. He really doesn't need those bodyguards, right? But he's doing the Mayweather thing, right? So on the outside looking in, they must be looking at that and saying, man, he's balling out. This guy must be big time. He looks like he's big time. See the image, the persona that he puts on. Man, they dressed him up real nice. And who knew he had such a massive flaw where he couldn't deal with that kind of power, right? And then, going into the fight, I have to be honest, right? I just thought that Devin Haney was going to play it the same Devin Haney way. He was going to stay on his P's and Q's, play from the outside, pop the jab, go downstairs to the body, stay on his toes, in and out, and nullifying Ryan's power. Yeah. All he talked about was Ryan Garcia's his hook shot, and that's all he had. Ironically, that was the punch he caught him with, and his hand was down. Like he made no defensive, you know, he just thought in his head, he was way better than Ryan Garcia. Leading into the fight, he said, I'm going to show the world that I'm on a different skill level than this guy right here. That's not what the world saw. So now, by him saying all these kind of things, talking that certain kind of way, it kind of solidified who they believe Ryan Garcia is. You see? But the reason why I wouldn't stand there and try to explain myself to a fight fan like that, first of all, he has the right to his opinion. And I'm not here to change his mind, to force my will onto him. So go ahead, you can have your right to your opinion. And if you believe that, okay, no problem, right? Second, I'll allow Ryan Garcia to be Ryan Garcia. Meaning, we'll see in his next fight, won't we? And then I'll see that fan hopefully another time and be like, how'd that work out for him? Because if Ryan Garcia intends on having a big fight, there's a couple names at 147 that we can legitimately say, okay, there's a couple. The fact that I think he's gonna fight for that vacated title and who he fight for that belt, I know the name will not be Jerron Boots Ennis. So if you're thinking that Ryan is that foolish and Oscar De La Hoya will allow Ryan Garcia to convince him that he's ready for Jerron Boots Ennis, you gotta be out your mind. Listen, it was risky with Tank Davis and it was risky with Devin Haney, but um a lot of these boxers are closer to these men. They must have saw the amateur and the way Ryan and him had history sparring, and every sparring Ryan, kind of like big brothers him. So he knew if he came in with the extra pounds, he would be able to be that much stronger and go through Devin Haney's punchers, being the fact that Devin Haney's not known for being a big puncher, Ryan was able to withstand his punches. I mean, he got connected with one good shot by Devin Haney, but he couldn't put it together and get close up again. Once Ryan caught on to that shot, Ryan took that away from him too as well. So um, it was just a bad look and a bad night for the Haneys. But he's gonna bounce back. Haney's gonna bounce back. I don't think he's gonna fight any of the champions. I don't think he'll just hop in there with Teal, even though Teal would love this fight right now. Teal would welcome this fight right now, because everybody sees a wounded duck and they seen a big flaw in his arsenal. But that can be quickly corrected. Devin Haney is a skilled boxer. I mean, he didn't accomplish everything he accomplished because he's not good. So if any real, big coaches work with him, it's not going to be hard to fix some of the holes he has. It's really not. He just got to be a little bit more alert, defensively sound, and stick to the damn game plan. I don't think he really had a game plan for Ryan. I think he really just believed he was just going to outbox him. I think that was the whole game plan for Devin Haney. As you see, he didn't really have a defense for that hook. He was just relying on his reflexes and his boxing style, it seemed like. Yeah. So I was just like, all right, cool. you know but look, where both men go from here, time will tell where they go from here. And Subriel Matias right now and this thing with Oscar De La Hoya. Look, um Oscar De La Hoya took shots, at Subriel, and I think it's all a smoke screen to take the eyes off of his guy. You know, Ryan Garcia needs to fix Ryan Garcia. Okay, and whatever else angles that he has or whatever agenda. If I'm wrong about this, I'm pretty sure it's gonna come out eventually with Oscar. Whatever he has in mind, or what, you know what I mean? Why he did this? Was he all pinged out, ping ping, out in the hotel room talking crap? Well, what was going on with him? Matter of fact, let me put these. What's up, guys? There you guys are. Ah, he had the wig on. What's up, Jose? How you doing? Blessings, my brother. What I told you last night was that Liam Paro's trainer not going to be in the corner on the fight. What? Liam Paro's trainer left the corner. On that fight. What's up? Armando, what's up, baby? Yo, I'm gonna go look more into that. So Hector, tell me, you're saying that Liam Paro's what's up, Lopez? Lopez against Haney would help both of them because neither one of them looked good on their last fight. Lopez versus Haney. Hmm. Who would you guys like to see Devin Haney fight next? Yeah, would you guys like to see him fight one of the top 40, 140 pounders? Like Ponce? Or like let's see. Let's look up on boxing records and look up some of the top 140 pounders right now and who is like available right now. Um uh all right, here we go. Well, Liam Paro's the WBO global, and he's coming into this fight right here too, right? You know, um, I believe that Dergachek is the number one, but I think it's for the IBF. I'm not really too sure right now. I'm gonna have to look all of this stuff up right now because all it's giving me is pound for pound and champions. It's not pulling up the ranking system for some reason. But anyway, look, I believe that Devin Haney needs like a what they call in boxing a tune-up fight, where that he can go in there, perform well, get a knockout. If he can preferably get like what they'll typically do in situations like this is give Devin Haney an old champion. Depending who wins out of the fight with Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall, that can be a potential fight in the future for Devin Haney. One of those guys. You putting the name Josh Taylor underneath your belt, that's a big name too in itself. He looks like he lost a step. I don't think that Josh Taylor is the same fighter. So, fighting a fight like that, seeing that Tio beat him, if Devin Haney can show that he can beat him, that would also boost Devin Haney up. Being the fact that Josh Taylor, once upon a time, was the undisputed champion at 140, and he was stripped leading into the Teofimo Lopez fight, where he was only the WBO champion when Teo defeated him. You see? Now, if he beats Jack Catterall, he can turn around and fight Devin Haney, and Josh Taylor would be on a rise by the victory, right? And claiming that he wants to reclaim all his belts. It would be a good fight for Devin Haney. You see, and I think Devin Haney would fare good against Josh Taylor, and not only would he fare good, I think Devin Haney would beat him, and it would, and it's a big name. As far I'm thinking about as far as naming all guys in the 140 division, I can do that. I'm just thinking of a guy that can also keep you and be there when it comes to popularity, ticket sales, things of that nature, and that he can also be and have a possibility of winning in the fight. And since Isa Pitbull Cruz already signed the deal in August, Subriel will be coming out of his fight, and Jack Catterall will be coming out of his fight at the end. You see, so that's what I'm. I don't think he should fight Regis Progress again, a former champion. You see, once again. So that's where I was going. I would try to get him a decent name, but in a good fight, but that he can give a great performance, to rebound from this. Where Ryan Garcia comes from here, I'm hearing rumors all over social media that he wants to fight at a catch weight. Like he wants to reinvent a weight with Tank Davis. Like he really thinks that Tank Davis is going to blimp up and fight him at a catch weight at 144. 143, 145. He wants to make up his own weight division. That's not a weight division, bro. Ryan Garcia wants to make up his own. And what he wants to do is what his claim is the only reason why Tank Davis beat him is because Tank Davis put a rehydration claw on him. And Ryan Garcia can only gain 10 pounds after weigh in. And he said he was deplenished, dehydrated, and that is the only reason why Tank Davis was successful against him. So now what he's trying to do is turn the tables in the favor on his side. What he wants is a blimped up Tank Davis, where he fights the most comfortable in his weight, and that he's able to rehydrate after the fight and put some more weight on, and to fight Tank Davis that is never going to do that. So that leads me to believe that he doesn't really want the Tank Davis fight. When you make outlandish claims like this, you know, you know, I know a lot about boxing, and I know that would never happen. Tank Davis is maxed out at 140. He's maxed out at 140. Okay. He's not a 140 pounder. And Tank Davis is really, really a 130 pounder. That's what he's supposed to be fighting at, right? He holds his own at 135. So I'm cool with it with him at 135. He's great at 135. He has his power, his speed. He looks like he has abs again. He can hold down 135. So how is Ryan feeding the public that Tank Davis gonna fight him at a catch weight at 144 pounds? It's ridiculous. So Ryan Garcia really has to figure out what he's gonna do, and I think him and his boxing promoter Oscar De La Hoya trying to take a little bit of heat off of him and figure out his next opponent for that vacant 147-pound WBC title. I understand that the title is not vacant yet. The owner of the title at 147 pounds is still Mr. Terrence Bud Crawford. I understand that. I think that the WBC is going to be giving Terrence Crawford a phone call in the next few days. Yes, he already signed the deal at 154 pounds. It's going on, it will be past a year, and like they fought in July, right? It was July. So it goes July, August, like a year and a month that those belts have not been represented. And as long as those belts are sitting on the shelf, they don't get paid. The only way the sanctioning bodies make money on these belts is when they're being promoted in the ring with the champion raising their belt. And then that's when they get sanctioning fees off the fight. So if they're sitting on a shelf, none of those belts are making money. And this is a business disguised as a sport, boxing. And they want money. Okay? So although you see the reason why they're not quick to take their belts off of Terrence Crawford, because as long as he holds them, the best fighter in the world got your belt around his waist. So that's also a business move. You see, the image is Terrence Crawford still has their belts. So they might not be getting money off of, him right now, but everybody else is getting these belts, getting money. And as long as the world sees that kind of man with those belts still wrapped around his waist, then you have your image. It's selling. It's also selling for boxing in many different ways. You see? So they're not quick to strip these kind of guys. But when you got another rising superstar, and Ryan Garcia made that kind of money he made with Devin Haney, he's going to need himself a dancing partner. But what he's also going to need is to stop fighting with his people. And he's going to need a way so that that shit dies down. And that's what Oscar De La Hoya did with Subriel Matias, man. Yes, he did. It's a dirty sport, it's a dirty game, but at the end of the day, I judge these fighters for what they do in the ring. And there are a lot of men and women that are successful in the ring, and they do stuff outside of boxing. And that's what I talk about being the face of boxing. If you're going to be the face or considered to being the face of boxing, you have to conduct yourself as a professional in and out of the ring. In order to be called the face, I don't think you should be called the face of boxing because, you make the most money. I mean, that would have a big thing to do with it, but just because you make the most money and then you pop dirty for PEs in your sport, should you be considered the face of boxing just because you make the most money and then you smash your Lambo into a pregnant girl's car, get out, get arrested, get placed on home arrest, get put in prison? That's the face of boxing? So, that's why I say sometimes we should, as fight fans, also watch what we're promoting. We're giving these athletes the go to act this way because we're allowing them, we're backing them on their bullshit. We want to be fans and buy our tickets and see our fights. And we want to make sure that our fighter is in there training and doing the best so that the next time we see him, we see a better version of that fighter, you know. So Look, fight fans, I just wanted to come on, make a video, touch on a few things that I believe that Oscar De La Hoya is creating, and it's all a smokescreen to take the eyes off of his guy. Subriel Matias, at least from me, another Puerto Rican. Listen, I support you. I have mad love for you and respect. I don't judge who you are or where you come from. I know that you are an island born Puerto Rican, and that's all that matters. And what really truly matters is what you believe, you know and the island loves you, and we got your back, and no one else is gonna claim you. You're our son. That's it. We've claimed you this whole time. You've been our son. And that's how I feel. No one has the right to claim him. This ain't fucking Tampa Bay trying to claim Tom Brady. Nah, you can't have him. He's a patriot. All right, fight fans. I love you guys. It's been an amazing show. I'll touch up with you guys tonight. I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Listen, give the video a like for me. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to be notified when I'm going on later on tonight live, click that bell notification icon and it'll notify you when I'm going on.